Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at Jen's Arty Inclinations, a place to create, share and play.
Hi everyone, I'm here with our next round of hashtag 2022 Collage Challenge. Now this is a challenge that's run by the gorgeous Leigh over at Leigh's Art Studios and the wonderful Julie over at Art and Junk Journals with Julie. So do go and check out their channels. They're very supportive. There's a bunch of us who regularly do these challenges, but it's open to everyone. So come along, enjoy, use the hashtag, and make sure that you tag Leigh and Julie to let them know that you've participated. All right, so this time, or rather, I should say the next 6 months, it's actually going to be a scavenger hunt. Now, what that means is we get a theme and we just create with that theme. So there are some other bonuses and options that you can add into it. I just went with the basic theme this time because it's sewing and I have so many different sewing things. So many sewing things. Gosh, this is going to be a video of puns. I can just feel it. Anywho, I decided that I'd use Mod Podge on this just to really layer up lots of background, lots of different texture, you know, that sort of thing. So here I'm using some pattern pieces, and actually in the bottom right corner there, that's a little note from a brownie handbook that's all about sewing. Unfortunately, it does need to get covered up in the end, but you know, that's okay. It's all part of the fun. I know it's there, and now you know it's there too. All right, so look, a lot of this is just gluing pieces down. It's mainly pattern pieces that I used. I did manage to put in a few other bits and bobs. I mean, you can add a challenge to this and see how many different kinds of things. So maybe you use buttons and that could be one thing, or you use patterns like I'm doing here. Maybe the pattern envelope's one thing, the pattern instructions is another thing, and the pattern sheets themselves, maybe they're a third thing. But, you know, they're probably all the one thing. But yeah, I thought that was a nice little added element that Leigh and Julie offered, that you could do that if you wanted to add some fun to it. But honestly, I'm just enjoying creating. And besides, Julie, I know you're going to win that one this month because you are just the best at collecting so many different kinds of wonderful materials that, I don't think I'll even bother competing. Not that we're competing at all. Anywho, it's lovely having the tissue because you get that slightly transparent feel. I really wanted sort of a really vintage, worn kind of look with this. I just kept building, and this is truly what I needed this week. It has been just life, you know, how it always is for so many of us. But yeah, I really didn't manage to stay on top of it all. And in fact, I almost missed my son's college application deadline. So, I mean, they've got a weird system in Canberra that I still haven't got my head around. You apply for college instead of year 11 and 12, just continuing, and you have to generally do it at a different school. I don't think there's probably some schools that go straight through to a year 12, but not our local one and not most ones. So then you have to decide on a college, but then they're only in area, and then you have to fill out all the same forms again. So yeah, I made him do it with me this time. I went, it's about time you learn how to do this. You're about to be, you know, a learner driver, so you're going to have to learn to fill out forms sometime soon. Anyway, apparently they accepted him, so that was good. Why am I talking about college applications? All right, I love this. Look, that little piece, it's just got a little piece of scissors. Now, these are just advertisements cut out of vintage magazines and things like that. So just lovely, really lovely paper, and they all have a little sewing theme. So I can't quite remember what they each were. You know, there was needlework and there was sewing and things for courses and things for machines. So I thought those, see, there you go, needlework materials, or wools and needlework materials. So I felt that they would be very nice in there. And that little spot, that's just the end of a cotton reel. You know, it's sewing. And this is a gorgeous picture of a little girl looking at a sewing machine in a window. And then these are just some fussy cuts out of the front of some pattern envelopes. So that's always fun to put into pieces, any pieces really. And so now it's starting to come together. Unfortunately, I don't get to retain the little girl looking in the window. Now that's still sewing because I've actually got, that's a paper ribbon that I've machine sewed on the machine. So this is just random pieces sewn together, and I love the look of that on the top. And how gorgeous. I've got a whole little set of these little gorgeous cards that I intend to use for ephemera to put, you know, into pockets and things. But just beautiful and perfect for this with sewing, because they're all sewing themes. There's a thimble and there's tape, and I just used one in this only because, you know, that worked for it. And this is my button. Isn't it beautiful? It's just something that I picked up on eBay, and I think they were postage stamp buttons, so you can probably still, you know, find packs of them. And these gorgeous little dolly buttons, they're like little Japanese doll buttons, just so sweet. So I cut out the corner of this other paper ribbon just to go around the edge of that picture of the little girl looking in the window. Just so sweet, so cute. I would have loved to have brought her out. I think it still worked out. Like, I think that she did a beautiful job. You'll see what I mean in a minute, in the end. Like, you know, we're not there yet. I've got to stop getting ahead of myself. All right, so just snipping down the edge. I'm just having an attempt at defining the edges, you know, a little bit. I'm putting in some balance to put the piece on the other side, you know, following my threes. You know how if you do three things. Oh, and these are just gorgeous. They're lovely big stickers. What do you call them? Washi tape stickers. And they stick down beautifully because I've dried off all the Mod Podge by this stage. And around the edge, they've got little sewing edges. So they're little zigzag sewn edges. So they go with the theme. It's so good because they're beautiful. I was really thrilled to be able to use these. Actually, I only got them recently, so I've probably already used almost all of them. But anyway, just gorgeous, I thought, for this collage. Really kind of helped bring it together. Now, what am I doing next? Oh, I couldn't get this stamp to work properly. Kylie at Kylie's Card Craft will be able to help me with that, what I'm doing wrong with my wooden rubber stamps. However, I did that little stamp, which is one of my mum's old stamps of a bobbin and a needle, because obviously that's sewing. Then I wanted a border around it just to pull it together a little bit more, so I just used black gesso. Quite like black gesso. It's quite nice. Like, I love white gesso. I use that quite a bit actually, but yeah, black is nice. There's a lot you can do with black gesso. Sometimes in a journal, just having a single page with that lovely black mat is lovely. So again, I'm still trying to make this little girl work because there's just not enough of a feature. Everything's a bit busy and, you know, melding into each other, I felt. So I was trying to make her stand out a little bit without totally ruining it. Probably if I had have gone completely over, but I really didn't want to lose all of that background. So this is a bit of a transparent gold. It's still got quite a bit of shine. You can't really see that obviously on the camera, but it still helped the end result. So, you know, every little bit helps, and I am really happy with the end result. So here it is in my paper bag book, and there's my little final touch. So I will just put a little bit of gold around her, but she did seem to just be a bit more of a feature there, and I quite like how all that came together. You know, I learnt a lot, and I've been wanting to play with my sewing things for quite a long time. Don't forget to check out Leigh's Art Studio and Art and Junk Journals with Julie. They're our hosts, and they're fabulous creative ladies. All the regular contributors, they're below in the description box, so check them out too. And there, my friends, is my 2022 Collage Challenge AUG for August. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy!